What's going on, everybody? Almost Evil 33 here, and today I have another Medal of Honor Warfighter gameplay commentary for you guys. Today I'm playing some team deathmatch on Hara Dunes, and I'm running with the Assaulter class, and I think I'm using the HK416 assault rifle, one of those, but I'm not exactly positive on that, but it doesn't really matter anyway. I want you to take a second to look back to the fall of 2012. What were you doing? What kind of person were you? If you haven't changed much since then, you probably followed the hype surrounding Medal of Honor Warfighter. Remember when it was a big deal? YouTubers like myself and many others, we tried to get our fans hyped about this thing. I mean, we really did. Little did we know that the game would be in the state that it's in now after just over a year. Today we're going to take a strong look back at the highlights and follies of the game that single-handedly killed a powerhouse franchise. Alright, so let's start with the announcement of the game. Medal of Honor Warfighter was officially announced in early 2012. I want to say it was like February or so that the game was officially announced. There were rumors going around that it was going to be the next fall shooter by EA, and there was also the confirmation that there would be a sequel to Medal of Honor 2010 from EA, but it wouldn't be made by DICE. That information was already out at the time, but we really had no idea on the release date until February of 2012, and I remember that when I first heard that there was going to be a new Medal of Honor game, of course I was going to be very excited. I remember getting the little piece of paper or flyer, whatever you want to call it, in the Battlefield 3 game box, and it had the Medal of Honor logo on it. I think it was the Wolfpack logo or something, and I was really excited. That was a cool little teaser that they threw in, and of course they tried to hype everybody up right off the bat. And it kind of came off of Medal of Honor 2010's success. A lot of people didn't really love that game. I happen to love that game. Some other people love that game. But a lot of people did at least enjoy it before they put it down for Battlefield 3. And I think they were all very excited that there was a new Medal of Honor game coming out. So was I. Then there was the die-hard fans of the series, and then there was the people who would just kind of pick it up just because it's the new shooter published by EA. So I figured, this is going to be good. I think this has a chance to really seal the deal with Medal of Honor, to fix all the problems that 2010 had. I was really stoked, and that was my initial first impression of the game's announcement. Now we move into the summer of 2012. Of course, the game is being built during this time, and all of a sudden, at the end, maybe around August, the end of the summer, we hear drama coming out of the Danger Close studios in Los Angeles with EA, and I didn't really know what to think about it at the time. I was kind of concerned because there was this big story that was published about how Greg Goodrich had been terminated, and of course I really enjoyed his work in Medal of Honor 2010. I mean, he's the creative director. It's his baby. The game is his product, and the fact that he was terminated for Medal of Honor Warfighter, I wasn't really sure what to think, and it seemed like a kind of minor thing for a lot of other people. But for me, I knew there was some sort of an issue. I knew something went horribly wrong. Even though the report said that Greg Goodrich's firing didn't really have to do with himself, it really had to do with something with the names of guns, and a lot of companies were filing lawsuits or something like that. I can't really remember it off the top of my head, but it was something that had to do with a lawsuit or taking names that weren't theirs and they didn't give credit for, a lot of stuff like that. And the reason that Greg Goodrich wanted to go through with it is because he wanted the game to be as realistic as possible, as accurate as possible. And he was just passionate about that. He was very passionate about making Medal of Honor that dream game of his. And you could tell that he was satisfied with his work for the time being. But then I think EA started to kind of push the game out the door. They wanted to get it done early. He knew that he couldn't get it done. And whether he kind of left himself or whether he was terminated is up for debate, I think. But even if he was technically terminated, I'm sure he would have left on his own will, because the game was just not developing the way that he wanted it to, because I don't think there was enough time. My personal opinion is he left or was terminated because he disagreed with the game getting pushed out the door in pretty much an unfinished state. And there might have also been drama going on with taking names and lawsuits, whatever, but I really don't think that's the key motive to Greg Goodrich's absence on Medal of Honor Warfighter. I just don't think it is. And I knew that something went horribly wrong when the creative director of the game was terminated. It was just horrible. I knew something went terribly wrong, and I just had that kind of premonition. So that was a really big deal for me. And then before we know it, we kind of try to get over Greg Goodrich getting fired and being off the project, and we head into the Xbox 360 beta. And this happened in about the September of 2012, and about a month before release, which is pretty typical for EA, DICE, Danger Close games nowadays. And I mean, I played it on Xbox 360 because it was an Xbox 360 exclusive beta for some reason. They said it was because the 360 version just needed to be tested more than the others, but I really don't know. And I remember playing it, and I really thought, this is what we're going to get in a month. I didn't think the game was complete. And of course, you have that hope in the back of your head that maybe it'll get patched, maybe it'll turn out different. But I knew in the back of my mind it's not going to. This is what we're going to be playing. And I was right. The game barely changed from that beta to when it went live in October. And that leads me to launch in October of 2012, which wasn't horrible, I guess. It was exactly what I expected. I got the game, I pre-ordered it, and we made videos for a while, me and a bunch of other YouTubers. We went as long as we could, but the game just died so quickly, and now we're at the present day, and the game's dead. It's dead. The numbers are staggeringly low. I've checked MoH Warfighter or whatever, and they're very, very, very low, like in the 100, 200 range. They have lower stats than Medal of Honor 2010, and that game's dead too, and that game came out 2 years before. So how could this game be dead so fast? It's because it didn't really appeal to anybody, and that's the problem, and it's sad, but that's just what it is. And I just want to take a look back today at Medal of Honor Warfighter. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave me a thumbs up. That really helps me out a lot. And drop a comment with your thoughts about this game and your memories with this game and everything, and what you think about how the game met its demise too early. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.